yards that time from the ball. Of course, Wilson runs, as we saw last week with East Rock, either a power sweep inside a tackle or an off-tackle sweep, and a lot of times you can determine what they're going to do on that by the alignment if the backs are really tight as they are now.
Cullen underneath center again. This time he tosses to McCauley. McCauley gets good behind good surge offensive line. He's out beyond the 40-yard line, out to about the 42. They will mark him down at the 42, and that will be a first down for Wilson Memorial, the first down of the game here, Coach.
Yeah, Coach Major is one of those coaches that we know to be successful because he says if they didn't stop that play, they run the same play. They ran the same play to either side the first two plays.
Passing this time out of the same wing T formation. The pass complete to number 88, Justin Leary, the senior tight end.
Right.
He picks up about 5 yards. It'll be second and, well, we'll give him 6 yards out to the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Interesting, they ran a play-action pass on first down, sort of trying to take advantage of Spotswood, again, with 10 men about 8 to 9 yards from the ball.
This time the toss is to 34, Savant Swift. He breaks a couple of tackles, one at the line of scrimmage, manages to get down inside Spotswood territory at the 46-yard line. That's good enough for another first down for the Wilson Memorial Hornets.
The very same play we saw the first play. Here it is, the replay. Notice how Swift cut back. He stepped out of one tackle and then he cut back, and number 20, Matt Weston, helped to make the stop for Spotswood.
Thanks to our Jenkins Insurance replay. You'll be seeing those all night long. Thanks again to our great crew that we're working with. This time the handoff is to the first back through the hole. That's a fullback.
That should be Jess Trent, Jay. Number 21.
Jesse Trent it is. You're correct, Coach. He picks up about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the 43 of Spotswood.
A companion play to that is to fake Trent into the line and then toss the ball outside to one of those wing backs, Savant Swift. So we possibly could see that. But again, you can see Spotswood crowding the line of scrimmage.
Toss to McCauley.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from right to left side.
The ball carrier.
Yeah, Drew Allen made first contact, and then McCauley broke away from him and gained an additional 2 or 3 yards.
Again, good line surge, Coach, and that was something that Coach Dodson talked about prior to the game. He needed some just execution up front. He didn't feel like they'd been beat badly in either one of their contests. They just need to execute a little better. He's looking for that up front. Right now, Wilson's having the better edge up front. They're pushing the ball down the field. 3rd and 3 now for the Green Hornets.
I think the key thing is he wants to prevent the big play and make them grind it. There's Swift again.
Swift again, he takes the ball from left to right, and this time he's down inside the 30. They'll mark him down to about, or inside the 40 rather. Down inside the 35 even, to the 33, where it will be 1st and 10 Wilson Memorial. And here you see it again on Jenkins Insurance replay.
Right, Matt Weston, the safety for Spotswood, came up and helped stop him. You know, trying to force them to either throw the ball, and by having 10 men to the line of scrimmage, keep either Swift or McCauley from breaking a big play on them.
Cullen again under center, the same familiar look, except this time they're 2 wide receivers, one to either side. This time McCauley takes his handoff, bounces to the outside. Nobody's going to catch him. That's a touchdown, Wilson Memorial.
In the replay, and they went on 4th down and were stopped. And now this is the second play for Wilson Memorial.
Toss to McCauley that time, and he just got nailed in the backfield. He tried to bounce it outside. He got tackled even deeper in the backfield, it looked like.
Scholl making the initial hit.
Yeah, that's Stanton Scholl on defense for Spotswood. Really did a fine job. Again, Spotswood's putting 9, 10 players inside of 8 yards to try to stop what Wilson's doing.
You see Coach Jeremiah Major there in the center of his group, and it does not look like he's happy. He's challenging those guys up front. He maybe thinks they can do a better job of execution, driving those guys off the ball, because they did that first drive, Coach. They just walked the ball right down the field, it seemed like, without much effort.
Right.
Now Jeremiah Major's trying to get a little bit more effort out of his kids. He's called a timeout. He's talking about it with them.
Well, I sense Spotswood, and I think you probably do too, Jay, even though they're behind 6-0 and they got stopped on 4th and short yardage, I sense a little momentum building for Spotswood. They seem to be playing with a little more fire. They've stopped Wilson in effect on 2 downs. This is, again, another big down to continue Spotswood's momentum.
3rd and 11. Tight formation, Cullen under center. Look like motion. We do have flags. The toss that time went to McCauley. He tried to go right to left, and what you've seen of this wing T very, very early in this contest.
Spotswood's going
over here waving that he does not want the penalty. He'll decline it.
Right. That was a really good series for Spotswood on defense. Those three downs there, and they're going to make Wilson punt the ball, and Spotswood should get pretty good field position here.
McBee's got to put a foot into one. Khalil Davis comes back to wait on it. He is at the 45. He's dropping back inside the 45 now. Got his heels at about the 41-yard line. He'll wait for it there. McBee to do the kicking. Snap's a good one. This kick's an end-over-end kick. Davis loses it for a second, falls back on it inside the 30. It looks like they'll mark him down at about the 27. It will be 1st and 10, and we see the Jenkins Insurance replay. Coach, walk us through.
He made a very sort of a last-second fair catch signal. And the ball was a little bit over his head, and as he went back, he fumbled it, but luckily he got it back, and so,
See some defensive stands by Spotswood. The ball game remained scoreless until right before the half, so defensive highlights. Again, Paul Obalford make the switch at Paul Obal.
Yeah, this is Dodson running the ball, really good run. What you saw before that was maybe one of the key plays for Wilson, where a pass was seemingly going to stop the drive, and it deflected into number 88's hands. Here's that pass to McDaniel by Polglaze for Spotswood. That was a key play. And then you see another run. I think that's by Dodson again. They tried the same play to the other side, and they sort of pumped the man in motion and threw to McDaniel, and he got hit about the time the ball arrived. And then there was an attempted bootleg, and Wilson, number 54, was all over it before Polglaze could turn around and look for a receiver.
Here you see the first of these 2 runs. I told you, Coach, this kid's an athlete. He can play some football.
Well,
first of 2 runs that really, really hurt late in the first half.
All right, that one, of course, there's another completion to 88, and they're trying to make up that real long yardage. So here's a play that you're talking about, Jay. This is this scramble. He breaks 2 tackles there, and then he drags the tackler into the end zone for the 2nd touchdown, which really was a tough one. There's a 2-point conversion on they faked the sweep and turned around and hit 88.
Justin Leary.
Leary in the end zone. So Leary, made a couple of 3 big receptions. The one where it was deflected and he caught the deflection. One that he helped gain some yardage before Cullen made his scramble run for a touchdown. Then, of course, the 2-point conversion.
This first half recap brought to you by Harrisonburg Nissan. Unleash excitement and savings at Harrisonburg Nissan. We're at halftime. Wilson Memorial 14, Spotswood nothing, and we'll be back after this SVS timeout.
Introducing something new from Old Dominion. Our clients have loved our feature-rich mobile site for years, and now you can get all that info in an app. Search the way you like. Discover listings in new ways. From desktop to mobile, we've got you covered. And one more thing, we are the only company in the area to have access to 5 MLS systems. That means you'll get more listings and info here than anywhere else. Guaranteed. Old Dominion Realty. Now that's what you were looking for.
Eugene went to Centera RMH to repair an old shoulder injury, and now he's back to his active life.
With my right shoulder injury prior to surgery, I was not able to do a lot of things I'd like to do. Now I can ride my bicycle, pick up my son, and not have to worry about my shoulder causing me pain. Dr. Muxel was able to repair my right shoulder with a minimally invasive approach so I'd have a quicker recovery. I feel that having my shoulder surgery at Centera RMH has improved my life.
No referral is needed, so visit rmhonline.com today.
Well, folks, it's official. Paul Loball Ford is the #1 select Ford dealer in the entire Washington, D.C. district, including the Valley, for the first half of 2014. All because you made the switch. To meet demand, we've decided to almost double our new car inventory for a bigger selection, which means bigger savings. Plus, free maintenance, including oil changes and tire rotations for the life of your bumper-to-bumper warranty on every new Ford sold. Only where the Valley makes the switch. Are you ready?
On the journey to a great car deal, all roads lead to the same location, Harrisonburg Nissan. We've got it all. Great savings on a huge selection of new Nissans and the Valley's largest selection of pre-owned cars. Zero down sign and drive. And if you'd rather not drive, we're just a mouse click away, 24/7 at harrisonburgnissan.com. Doesn't matter what the map says. The road to a great car buying experience leads to one location, Harrisonburg Nissan, the beast on 33 East.
Need more from your wireless relationship? Maybe it's time to start a new one. Switch to Intellos Wireless and get 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month. Yes, more data, more value. Plus, get zero down on all smartphones, and we'll even buy out your...
Great pass! Carlson scores!
We are back at Spotswood High School, where Wilson Memorial, visiting Wilson Memorial, leads homestanding Spotswood 14-0. And Coach, we talked about Coach Dodson and what he might be telling his troops going into the locker room. If you're on the other side, Jeremiah Major, what is he telling his troops at halftime?
Well, he's going to receive the kick, as we said earlier, since they deferred on the toss. And Coach Major wants to get that third score here early in the third quarter, and I think he's probably emphasizing, hey, let's don't go out there and make a mistake, have a turnover that will allow 7 games, they'd be 7-3, or even 6-4. So, I don't think, obviously you want to win the game, but I think right now he's just saying, let's try to get better. Let's get better the second half. Let's improve.
We talked about a little bit about what you said, Coach, the difference between these teams. Spotswood trying to replace, I think I've got this number right, 23 seniors who graduated last year, and I just counted on Wilson Memorial. We talked about the danger of falling too far behind Wilson Memorial. It's not like they're not used to playing with a lead. 47-7 over Waynesboro in week 1, 29-0 over R.E. Lee last weekend. And I'll tell you, some of the comments that the R.E. Lee coach made in the paper the next day have upset these kids. They're out to prove that this is a good football team, and they're doing it so far tonight, 14-0.
Well, I don't, it would hard me to believe that there were very few people that didn't think that Wilson was going to be a really good football team. I think they are. I mean, they've got, their wing T offense. They got a quarterback and their 2 wing backs who have been playing now for 3 or 4 years. They've got offensive linemen and all those seniors you talked about, Jay, that been not just seasoned in the regular season, but they've got playoff football experience. And it's not like Spotswood's playing the Little Sisters of the Poor here tonight. And it could be, save a really good, outstanding effort by number 14, and Wilson to score, it could be a 6-0 game here at halftime. So, you know.
And you talk about number 14, Coach, and I hate to go on and on about how good Cullen is and how difficult he is to bring down the ground. The kid's 6'5", 210.
Right.
I mean, this is a high school quarterback. 6'5", 210. He's going to break tackles. He's going to get into the end zone. That's why you have to put multiple shirts on him. This is a good kid, an athletic kid, and he's been playing since he was a sophomore.
Right, and you know, most of the time, Wilson doesn't depend on Cullen running the football. It's manage the offense, throw play action, occasionally in the shotgun, throw a ball down the field. You know, and sometimes you overlook the fact, as you said, that he's that big and that he can run the football.
Exactly. You see our scoreboard there again. Wilson Memorial 14, Spotswood nothing. And that scoreboard sponsored in part by Massanutten Resort, your Four Seasons resort. We thank you, Massanutten, and our other scoreboard hosts, or scoreboard sponsors throughout the game. All right, we've got 18.5 seconds left. The teams just now came back out on the field. That should give us time to recognize some of our sponsors. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this timeout.
Clear to zip.
Break a little. That's good. Good job.
Game on.
When we told you the neighbors got to stay past midnight, you told us we're not the neighbors. When we told you the neighbors got a pony, a swimming pool, a dirt bike, you told us we're not the neighbors. But now the neighbors have truly unlimited data from Intelos, and everyone gets their own smartphone. So, what do you say now?
More phones, more lines, and more data. Stand up and demand more. Act now and get 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month plus $0 down on all smartphones. Intelos, wireless for the people.
There's something to be said about honesty and loyalty, about commitment and trust. Yes, these are some of the traits that make a really great friend. And at United, we think they're also the traits that make a really great bank. It's how we've done business since 1839. Knowing names, knowing faces, knowing dreams. So while you're out there at work, at play, and at life, always know we're at your service. United Bank.
Introducing something new from Old Dominion. Our clients have loved our feature-rich mobile site for years, and now you can get all that info in an app. Search the way you like. Discover listings in new ways. From desktop to mobile, we've got you covered. And one more thing, we are the only company in the area to have access to 5 MLS systems. That means you'll get more listings and info here than anywhere else. Guaranteed. Old Dominion Realty. Now that's what you were looking for.
Band in the way.
Yeah.
First, and what adjustments do you have for the second?
Well, you know, we played into their hand a little bit with their defense. Their defense is getting after it, but offensively we got to, you know, go back to do again what we're taught to do. It's just like a replay of last week at Lehigh.
You started out the half really strong and ended the half strong. What adjustments are you going to make so that you have the middle part just as strong as the beginning and end?
Just play football, man. That's all we can do is, you know, just do what we do.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Bridget. You just heard that interview with Coach Jeremiah Major, whose team has a 14-0 lead over Spotswood as we prepare to start the second half. And, Coach, how important is it on a scale of 1 to 10 that Spotswood gets a stop here?
I'd say about a 10.
You're going to make that easy on me. Not even going to elaborate, are you? Just going to tell me it's a 10 and let it go, right?
Well, you know, I just think, you know, with the experience that Wilson has and there's a difficulty that Spotswood's had, you know, moving the ball in you know, quick fashion, that to be down 3 scores will be very, very difficult. But that doesn't in any way demean Spotswood. That just tells you that Wilson Memorial is a good football team, and I think Spotswood's going to get better and better as the year progresses.
We talked about Wilson's potential here before the game. They've outscored their opponents 76-6 in just 2 games. So they can put points on the board, and for Spotswood to hold them to 14 is a task well done. However, like you said, Coach, they've got to keep them out of the end zone here because to go down 3 scores to this team and the way they make you move the ball is going to be very, very difficult for a comeback. I believe that's Nick DePola, the same kid that punts, and it is. Got the ball teed up, and we are underway in the second half. The ball floats down the field, retrieved at about the 10-yard line. Returned to the middle of the field to about the 21-yard line, where he's met by a couple of Spotswood tacklers. Wilson will take over at the 21, 1st and 10.
Number 42 for Spotswood got down the field and made a real sure tackle on the returner. So that's a good start for Spotswood. They've got, if they can, again, stop this series and get the ball back, they got a shot at getting right back into this game. Not that they're out of it.
Cullen that time turns and gives the toss. It looks like Savant Swift just bullying his way out to close to the 35-yard line. Now you see a late flag come in.
Yeah.
That's after the runner was down. I don't know what that was for.
Right. Here's the replay, and you see it's a toss. Any of those of you who saw last week's East Rockingham football game at Strasburg, that's the same play. He tosses, and the ball carrier is following the left guard, the left tackle, and the quarterback, 6'5" quarterback, right up the middle as a moving wall. And when you get as good a ball carrier as Swift following that kind of blocking interference, you're going to get a real positive play.
And here we get the call.
Personal foul against
Wilson.
Oh, offsetting.
You see Jeremiah Major. Offsetting penalties. Jeremiah Major still not happy. After the play, however, so the yardage will stand. I believe that's a 1st down.
I didn't see any shoving or anything like that, so I suspect there might have been a verbal exchange there.
Somebody might have heard some. I didn't see anything either, Coach, but it's hard to tell without being down on the field. 7 now for the Green Hornets.
If you're the Spotswood coaches on the sideline, you've got to be pleased with what you're seeing out of their defenders. I mean, they're getting right after Wilson Memorial's backs, and I'm impressed by the way they're coming out to start the second half.
Cullen again under center. This time he tosses to Swift. Savant Swift finds a big hole up the middle of the line. 3 Spotswood tacklers grab him. Finally wrestle him down inside Spotswood territory at the 47-yard line.
All right,
and all of a sudden Wilson is threatening again, Coach.
Well, by your Jenkins replay, you could see what I was talking about earlier. That's the very same play they ran right before the offsetting penalties, where you could see the guard and tackle, pulling guard and tackle on quarterback, leading the running back up through the hole, almost coming at the camera.
Great camera work again by our crew. We're thankful to have them with us. We're thankful to have you with us on SVS Game of the Week. Spotswood hosting Wilson Memorial. Wilson's got a drive going. This is Jaquan McCauley, who gets to the outside again. He uses his speed to get down beyond the sticks. He gets run out of bounds. It looks like they'll mark it at the 34-yard line, and that'll be another 1st down, Wilson Memorial.
All right, there was your pulling guard and tackle and quarterback from the right side. And that time McCauley broke it outside, and a Spotswood defender seemed to have him pinned in there, and he just used his athleticism to fake and go right around the outside for a big play.
That was Matt Weston waiting to get that stiff arm and then get speeded out around the corner, as you said, Coach. Cullen leads him to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10, ball on the 34-yard line of Spotswood. Cullen drops the pass, throws the ball deep over the middle, and the ball's knocked down just out of the hands of Justin Leary. And that time Weston, number 20, made the play again. Nice defensive play.
Trying to get him on a 1st down, a good play call, and Weston makes even a better play there and almost had an interception. We got a Wilson player down, Jay.
We got a Wilson player down. That brings a timeout on the field. 10:13 remaining here in the third quarter. We will take a timeout with them. We'll be back after this.
Eugene went to Centera RMH to repair an old shoulder injury, and now he's back to his active life.
With my
nationwide insurance coverage changes too. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation where protection is personal.
Nationwide is on your side.
Did you know Harrisonburg Nissan is 24 years old and locally owned? Plus, you can shop from home 24/7 online with our express buying service. Check it out at harrisonburgnissan.com. Give us a fighting chance.
Well, folks, it's official. Paul Loball Ford is the #1 select Ford dealer in the entire Washington, D.C. district, including the Valley, for the first half of 2014. All because you made the switch. To meet demand, we've decided to almost double our new car inventory for a bigger selection, which means bigger savings. Plus, free maintenance, including oil changes and tire rotations for the life of your bumper-to-bumper warranty on every new Ford sold. Only where the Valley makes the switch. Are you ready?
JMU football is back. Join Coach Everett Withers this season for game day highlights, news, and upcoming opponents on the Valley's Fox every Thursday night at 7. Coach Everett Withers and staff talk JMU football plus a little chalk talk. Go Dukes! Tune in Thursday nights at 7 for the Everett Withers Show.
Can't even put weight on it. Let's see if that has any effect with the new center. Now he's a hefty lad.
We are back at Spotswood High School. Our scoreboard, Intellos, wireless for the people, one of our sponsors. We thank Intellos for being with us again this year on the SVS Game of the Week. Wilson Memorial leading Spotswood 14-0 and driving again. Savant Swift takes a handoff, bounces outside. There's a flag as you see him brought down by the collar. Number 20, Weston, that time with the key play, but we'll have to see what the flag is. It looks like it was thrown in the direction of holding.
Here's the replay, and that was intended to go inside, and you see Savant Swift just following his blockers and breaking outside, and I think that's Weston that drug him down, Jay.
It was indeed. We've got holding, however, on Wilson Memorial at the 29-yard line, so that'll bring the ball back to the 39-yard line. That's right, 10 yards, Jay. Good math. It'll be second and about 16 now for Wilson.
This evening, Jay, it's an inside toss to your fellow wingback, like you said, an inside reverse. That's good job by Wilson. Good job by Spotswood to stop that for virtually no gain.
That's a matter of discipline. He picked up about 6, leaving them 3rd and 10 here. I imagine they're in 2-down territory there, Coach. They'll go for it here if they don't get it on 3rd down. And there you see Jaquan McCauley dragging tacklers and juking others as he gets down to about the 25-yard line, which is about a yard and a half shy of first down yardage.
Yeah, if you see that play, and if you're watching it, and here's a replay. Here's the same play. There's one missed tackle. There's another one. I think, though, it's the missed tackles have much of it's due to the elusiveness of McCauley and Swift as it is to not very good tackling. I mean, you've got to give those young men credit for the way they run and the elusiveness that they have.
They've been doing this for a lot of years, Coach. And
exactly.
Two back-to-back state finals appearances will tell you how good they are and how successful they've been. And while we were talking about that, they're going to take a timeout to decide what they want to do here on this 4th and 1. We will take a timeout with them, and we'll be back with the SVS Game of the Week right after this.
At Harrisonburg Nissan, right now, you can get 0% financing on select models. Hey, keep your money. Use Nissans. We'll honor and beat all buying service prices. We want your business. Check it out at harrisonburgnissan.com.
When we told you the neighbors got to say it past midnight, you told us we're not the neighbors. When we told you the neighbors got a pony, a swimming pool, a dirt bike, you told us we're not the neighbors. But now the neighbors have truly unlimited data from Intelos, and everyone gets their own smartphone. So, what do you say now?
More phones, more lines, and more data. Stand up and demand more. Act now and get 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month plus $0 down on all smartphones.
We are back to live action, and quickly back to live action as the ball's tossed to number 34, Savant Swift. He gets down to the 22-yard line. That should be enough for a first down, and it is. Wilson Memorial 1st and 10 at the Spotswood 22. And Coach, something else we didn't talk about, the way Wilson is moving the ball down the field. We're inside of 8 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. So if they do cap this score or cap this drive with a score, it's going to be very, very tough 3 scores down for Spotswood because A, they're 3 scores down to a very good football team, and B, there's not much time left on the clock.
Right, and one of the positives of this type of offense is you sustain the clock with your drives. Here
you see just a struck. The handoff goes to the fullback that time.
Yeah, that's Jess Trent.
Number 21, Jesse Trent on the carry. The chains will move again. He got enough for a first down there, down at the 11-yard line of Spotswood now, and this is starting to become dire for Coach Dodson as you see him there shouting out instructions for his defense. He knows how important this drive is. That time McCauley goes in motion, takes the handoff inside instead of the toss. Not much there that time. Good defense by the Spotswood Trailblazers.
Spotswood had several tacklers there, and again, McCauley and Swift don't make it, easy at all. McCauley that time made them used 2 or 3 tacklers to bring him down.
Still picked up a couple of yards. 2nd and 8. Collins again under center. The toss that time to Swift. He gets down close to the goal line. It is a touchdown, but there are flags on the play, so we'll have to see whether or not this stands. Swift to carry. This time the signal is against Spotswood.
Here's our replay.
The Jenkins Insurance replay. Swift just finds a great surge, and then he bowls his way into the end zone, dragging a couple of Spotswood defenders as you see 4 gray shirts laying there with him.
There's a better look at it from ground level, coming right at you, and he turned right up the field. And again, it takes, you count 3 or 4 defenders trying to tackle Swift, and usually the same way with McCauley.
McBee on to try the extra point. We've talked about his leg all night. Good snap, good hold. This time the kick is up.
And another flag.
And good. Another flag down, however. Maybe we don't have a flag. So with 6:24 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Wilson Memorial takes a 21-0 lead over Spotswood, and we'll be back with the final minutes of the 3rd quarter after this.
It was indeed. And there's
on the journey to a great car deal, all roads lead to the same location. Harrisonburg Nissan. We've got it all. Great savings on a huge selection of new Nissans and the Valley's largest selection of pre-owned cars. 0 down sign and drive. And if you'd rather not drive, we're just a mouse click away 24/7 at HarrisonburgNissan.com. Doesn't matter what the map says. The road to a great car buying experience leads to one location. Harrisonburg Nissan, the beast on 33 East.
We are back in Penn Laird at Spotswood High School, where the homestanding Trailblazers have their hands full now with a 21-0 deficit against Wilson Memorial. And you were right, Coach, there was a penalty on the extra point. It was against Spotswood, and it has been enforced on the kickoff, giving McBee an excellent chance just to boot one in the end zone here from the Spotswood 45-yard line.
Spotswood allows Wilson to kick off on the Spotswood 45-yard line.
Whereas McBee a couple of times has just squib kicked it. I think he'll kick this deep to try to pin him back.
Put it in the end zone. He kicked it out of the end zone.
Right.
That's a leg for a high school kicker, folks. You just don't see that. Even though it was from the 45 of Spotswood, he still kicked that a good 15 yards out of the end zone. Good kickoff. Spotswood will take over at their own 20-yard line. 1st and 10, 6:24 remaining here in the third quarter.
Some of you, if you're looking at the screen right there, you noticed that Spotswood players were looking at their wristbands. And the play is called from the sideline, and then they actually see the play and then line up.
Ball's tossed to Davis. Davis tries to run around the right side. He is caught in the backfield. Maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
All right,
back to the 20. They're moving it just outside the 20.
Yeah, there's your Jenkins
so we'll give them a
replay.
yard. 2nd and 9 for Spotswood.
See all of them looking at their wristband. You know, we've talked a lot about Wilson's offense tonight, Jay, but, you know, Spotswood has played William Monroe and Western Alma, both, you know, pretty good football teams. The first game was 23-15, and the next game 19-14. What that should tell you is that not only does Wilson Memorial have a good offensive team, they've got a very solid defensive team. You know, they really run to the ball, like the pass there to Davis. There were, you know, 4 and 5 and 6 players running to the football that time. So they have a strong team on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
To justify what you just said, Coach, they had a chance there to take a 10-yard holding penalty on Spotswood. They chose to decline it and instead force a 3rd and 5 here for Spotswood. So we'll have to see what the Blazers do. They bring out Khalil Davis in motion. He curls up just past the 25-yard line. The pass goes incomplete, so it'll be 4th and 5. Certainly not the way you want to start the half if you're a Spotswood Trailblazer fan.
Exactly. You know, Poglace ran a play action that time, and this is the second time that I've seen that. He didn't have time to turn around and hardly have time to find a receiver when number 54, who's the defensive end for Wilson, was all over him, right in his face.
You see our scoreboard there, again brought to you by Old Dominion Realty, built on integrity. Old Dominion Realty. You'll see the punt there, finally run down, stopped at the 46-yard line of Spotswood. So again, great field position now for Wilson Memorial. 5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
Right there in that picture, you can see a good shot of the size of Wilson Memorial's quarterback, Mac Cullen, as Jay's been talking about, quite a bit. That's on a lot of teams, he'd be playing in the offensive or defensive line.
You need the center on the basketball team. What are you talking about, Coach? That's a small school down there. Pass deep. McCauley in motion. The ball goes to Jesse Trent up the middle. He doesn't gain much of anything, if anything. He barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
I think
for Wilson.
Excuse me, Jay. I think that was number 86, Jared Morris, who made a good stop on Trent there. Really important here.
Cullen again up under center, the tight wing tee. Again, it's McCauley in motion. He takes the toss. He bounces it outside. This time, good pursuit by Spotswood. He'll be tackled again at the line of scrimmage, maybe even behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to mark him at the 46. No, they are going to charge him with a 1 yard loss, so it'll be 4th and 11, and McBee will be on to punt. You take another look at our scoreboard, brought to you in part by United Bank. Celebrating 175 years, bank with United.
Jay, deep for Spotswood is number 10. He's the only freshman. Oh, we got a fake.
Tyler Smith was deep. The ball doesn't even get punted. It's run right up the middle of the field, and a great run down to the 22-yard line of Spotswood, where it will be 1st and 10, Wilson Memorial.
Number 10 for Spotswood is Pierce Withers. He's a freshman, and his dad is the head football coach at James Madison. And they moved here from Ohio. But Coach Major must have seen something there on that fake.
Must have. He wanted to get the ball to Jaquan McCauley, I think is what he saw. I think I'd like to do that too. That's Jesse Trent, who tries to go up the middle and again is stonewalled. You see 4 jerseys standing in the backfield just waiting for that one. Not a chance that time for the Wilson Memorial Hornets.
Scholl and number 78, I believe, was the other tackler.
Andrew Kaufman.
Right.
Not a bad sized boy there, Coach. You can talk about him. He's 6'4", 300.
Right. I think Spotswood's going to get better, and I think by the first conference game here in a couple of weeks, they're going to be, a force to be reckoned with in the Valley District.
They got Central of Woodstock next week. I wouldn't be surprised if Central didn't have their hands full when they come, or when they host the Trailblazers.
Well,
here you see Cullen again, just flat out running people in the back, throws off his back foot and out of bounds. However, that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a
hold. He escaped trouble in the backfield that time.
I can hear the fans for Spotswood down here. If you look here at the replay and you see number 54, well, I think he's kept contact, but some of the fans up here were calling for a hold.
That leaves 3rd and 12 as you see the Jenkins Insurance replay. Thanks to Jenkins Insurance for sponsoring our replays all season long. We appreciate your support of high school football. 3rd and 12. Spotswood's 24-yard line. Cullen under center. Fakes the handoff, naked bootleg. He runs to the right side, breaks one tackle. It takes 3 more blue shirts to wrestle him to the ground. That's just a big young man, Coach. He's inside of 20, down to about the 18-yard line.
You see the replay.
About half of what they needed there for the first down.
I don't think that was just a naked bootleg. He faked McCauley on a reverse, and Big Kid 78 was one of those 3 that helped bring McCauley, Cullen down.
That's Kaufman again with the tackle. He's been in on a couple of plays now this drive. As we tick close to 2 minutes, we are at 2 minutes and counting here in the 3rd quarter. 4th and 6. Cullen is in the shotgun. He takes a snap, throws over, throws a fade to the right side, and it is knocked down in the end zone, incomplete. So the Trailblazers will take over on downs. A big defensive stand there by the Trailblazers, Coach.
Right, and that's number 22, Dodson, who makes the play. He turns and finds the ball, and he had a shot to intercept that. But the key thing is he prevented the reception by 88, Leary.
Justin Leary again the target on a passing formation.
Everybody looking at the wristbands.
Spotswood's got those wristbands out, checking the plays.
Right.
Two receivers to either side of Polglaze. One back, Dodson behind him. He fakes the handoff, rolls out, throws. That's complete. It looks like to number 44, Colin Burns. Is that right?
42.
42. I don't have a 42.
Yeah. I do not either.
Tyler Smith is what they're calling it.
We want to thank the PA right next door for letting us know who that was.
Pickup of about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 for Spotswood at their own 25-yard line. They need to get to the 28. This time 2 backs. It's handed to the first back. That's Scholl?
I think so. 15.
That was Scholl on the carry, and he gets just enough, the line of scrimmage, out to the 28-yard line where it is a first down Spotswood. So they get their first down of the second half, Coach, with 1:30 to play here in the third quarter. Kind of tells you what Wilson's been able to do offensively.
Right. We mentioned looking at the wristbands. Jay, I can't think of any team in recent memory that the play was, taken from the sideline to the field in that manner.
Because you never saw my JV teams when I was coaching at Blue Ridge, Coach.
Right.
We did that as a JV team. What are you talking? Come on now.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised, Jay.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not sure I don't resemble that remark.
Number 22 on the carry there. That was Dodson again.
Brady Dodson on the carry. Picked up about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. We are under 40 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Spotswood trailing, visiting Wilson Memorial 21-0. Trying to get a little something started here at the end of the quarter. Rollout pass complete. I believe that's to the fullback coming out of the backfield. Is that Scholl?
Yes.
Scholl on the reception. He picks up about 3 yards out to the 33-yard line. 3rd and 5 now for Spotswood.
That was a really good play by Polglace. I think that's a play they've tried earlier, but that time he had time to set his feet and he made a good pass. And when you consider he's going to his left, which trying to, having to get his shoulders squared to the line of scrimmage, that was a really good job by Polglace.
Tough throw to make indeed. He did make it. We'll be back 3rd and 5 right after this SVS timeout.
From your wireless relationship? Maybe it's time to start a new one. Switch to Intelos Wireless and get 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for just $45 a month. Yes, more data, more value. Plus, get $0 down on all smartphones, and we'll even buy out your contract up to $350 per line. It's 10 gigs of data and unlimited talk and text for only $45 a month. Stand up and demand more. Intelos, wireless for the people.
Over Broadway. We are back at Spotswood High School. We've got a score from William Monroe Broadway game, 14-7. William Monroe over Broadway now. So they took down Spotswood last week, trying to do the same thing with Broadway this week, Coach.
William Monroe is taking on the Valley District and doing a good job.
Yeah, I was going to say, and doing well at it apparently. 19-14, the win last week over Spotswood. Spotswood just trying to get something going now. They've got 12 minutes to get into this 21-0 lead. Polglaze under center. He hands off on a trap to the right side. Not much there for the ball carrier. Dodson on the carry. He picks up just a couple. It'll be 4th and 3. And don't you, you hate to do this on your own end this deep. You got to kick it away, don't you?
Right. That was, as you said, a tailback counter trap, faking the fullback to the left and pulling the left guard and trapping over here. Wilson did a good job defending it.
DePolo back to punt. I can't tell if
I think that's right. I think that's number 20. Right?
End over end. No, that's Jaquan McCauley, who
right.
lets the ball bounce and makes a big mistake because that one's going down to the 11, marked dead at the 12-yard line, where it would be 1st and 10 Wilson Memorial. As we begin this third quarter, Wilson already leading 21-0. Spotswood may have gotten a break there field position-wise if they can make a stop here, Coach.
Well, at this point, I think Wilson just wants to try to, eat as much of the clock as they can, and they've got the type of offense that can do just that. I'd be surprised to see very many passes on this series.
Savant Swift on the toss from left to right. He bowls forward out to about the 14-yard line, a gain of only 2, so it'll be 2nd and 8.
3 or 4 Spotswood tacklers there. Good gang tackling, which is always good, and especially against dangerous running backs like Wilson has.
What Wilson would really like to do now is another time-consuming drive, Coach, get another score here and just put this thing out of hand. 10:30 and counting here in the third quarter, or in the fourth quarter, rather. Cullen, though, drops back to pass. He's looking deep down the right side, and he's got his man, number 88. That's Leary. Leary breaks the tackle, cuts back to the middle of the field. He's still running, dragging people with him. Look at this. Down to the 31-yard line.
Well, I'm shocked, speechless. I did not expect to see Coach Major throw a pass, and I guess that tells you that he's like that guy, Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
The gambler. You're pulling out all kinds of stuff for me tonight, Coach. I like it.
Well, Cullen throws the ball well, and number 88 is a very, as we've seen already, a very good receiver and a good runner after the catch.
Let me to tell you his size, Coach, he's only 6'4", 225. I like those big guys. I'll take them all night long, football or basketball, in fact.
Right.
He's throwing again. Doesn't have anybody open, so he rolls out to his left, stops, turns, and throws back. And this time you get a flag in the backfield.
Well, everybody in the stands in front of us and the coaches on the sideline were calling for it. And
everybody's jumping up and down wanting to hold.
Yeah, the guy, I think, either held him or blocked him in the back. We might see it if we get a replay. Oh, he's picking up the flag. Whoa.
If I stick my microphone out the window now, you're going to hear language you just don't need to hear on a Friday night if you got kids watching football.
Ooh. Well, you know what?
88, there's my boy with a reception. I'll go ahead and give him credit again.
The Wilson blocker had his head in front of him, So
you're saying it was a good block?
I think technically by the rule, number 4.
No, that's number 4. I'm sorry. That's Brandon Gokenauer. I hate when guys that are 6'3", 185 make touchdown catches, Coach.
Yeah.
He's a small guy. 6'3", 185. Just throw it up in the air and let him go get it.
Right. It was just a jump ball between number 14 for Spotswood. I get McDaniel, I think, and then the receiver, McBee's attempt at the extra point is no good. I think that one was off to the right, Jay. Here's the touchdown pass again. Cullen just, really he just threw that one up and said, all right, big boy, go up there and get it. And Gokenauer did.
So with 9:10 remaining in the fourth quarter, Wilson Memorial takes a 27-0 lead over Spotswood, and we'll be back after this short SVS timeout.
Wilson's a really good football team. Solid.
Wilson is definitely a very, very good football team, and right now they hold a 27-0 lead over an improving Spotswood team, Coach. And we just now got an update on the score. Broadway and William Monroe. Broadway has tied it up 14-14 now with Monroe.
Well, the Gobblers aren't about to quit. They'll battle you right down to the very end, I'm sure.
McBee's got it teed up. He'll kick it from the 40. The ball sails downfield, bounces at about the 10-yard line, is picked up at about the 11.
I'd say.
Paul Glaze this time hands off to the up back. Is that Scholl?
No, that's Dodson on the carry.
Dodson, the ball carrier that time. He doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He loses a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
I believe he's
ball at the 14-yard line now. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Jay. You can see that big brace on his elbow. I believe he's playing with a, he had an elbow injury a couple games ago.
This time, Polglaze in the shotgun. He'll roll out to his left, stop and throw. 2 receivers in the area. Neither one of them can bring in the pigskin, so it'll be 3rd and 11 at the 14-yard line.
Right, Withers, number 10, and number 83 was the other intended receiver. That's Sexton. And I suspect what you said, Jay, that both of them weren't supposed to be that close to one another.
Spotswood getting the play off of their wristbands and switching formations here. 2 receivers out to Polglaze's right. He is under center. He takes a snap.
Sprint draw.
Sprint draw is right, and not much room there for the running back.
Dodson, I believe, again, Jay.
Swarmed under at the 16-yard line. This time, I think, Coach, you got to go. You're already down 27. There's 8 minutes left. You go here?
No, you kick it away. No, not this deep. Not this deep in your territory.
Just thinking the only way you get a win is to go put points on the board.
Well, I think at this point...
we can argue this one. This will be fun.
No, I think it's just a matter, hey, like I said, coming out second half, if we can't win this game, let's get better. Let's get better. We're playing a good football team in Wilson Memorial. And I think, if you play a good football team, you're going to get better. And you know what? They may have changed their mind because Polglaze.
No, they just picked up a first down on an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Wilson.
Coach Major can't be pleased with that. You don't want that kind of penalty when you're ahead on the scoreboard, and that might be the biggest negative for Wilson all night is that kind of penalty.
You're right. There you saw again a shot of our scoreboard on the camera. Thanks again in part to Comcast, Massanutten Resort, and Telos, Old Dominion Realty, and United Bank.
The officials are going over to tell Coach Major what it was. You know what? It could have been, I noticed that Dodson had his helmet off. It might have been that somebody pulled his helmet off or, and the official flagged him for that.
I think he took his helmet off to yell back at somebody who was yelling at him, and they got the original guy and flagged him.
Okay.
The flag came out just as he turned his head and ripped his helmet off.
Right. I honestly didn't see the flag, but I did see what you were talking about, that Dodson was looking back on the field. And Coach Major shaking his head like he understands.
Win or lose, he wants his kids to do it in a classy way, Coach. You know he's not going to be happy about that penalty.
Oh, no. You just don't want,
39-yard line. A pickup of about 7. Coach, we've been talking about another quarterback all night long. Polglaze hasn't made too many bad decisions here tonight. And another kid, you want to know, he's a junior, 6'3". He's over 200 pounds as well.
Right. You know, Zach Polglaze, you know, has been around the game a lot, you know, over his young life. And you can see that, you know, he's getting better. Last year, he began the year as one of a tandem of quarterbacks, and after about 4 or 5 games, the Spotswood coaches settled on Polglaze as the starter. And, you know, he does a good job managing the team. You don't see very many, you know, illegal procedures. He throws the ball well, especially off play action. He hasn't had to run the ball, and he's not designed to be a runner at this point. But you know, you've got to be impressed. And you know, I continue to say, Spotswood's an improving team, and the future opponents, I'm sure, are going to have their hands full when they play them.
Got a break in action now, as this time something's being explained to the Spotswood coaches.
And they're trying to get Coach back off the sideline here. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's a penalty. It's a penalty against Spotswood, Jay. Previous couple plays of, yeah, and we'll leave it at that. I noticed a player was removed from the game.
Handoff that time, straight give off the right side of the line.
That might have been Sword.
That was Michael Sword on the carry. I think that's his first toe to the game, Coach.
Yes, I think you're right, Jay.
He picked up about 6 yards. That'll leave us 2nd and 14. Another flag. This one will be legal procedure. I saw a lineman jump that time for Spotswood. That'll move them back another 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 19 here. And Coach, how important is it for the Blazers, if nothing else, this game, just to close this game out with a nice scoring drive? What would that do for this team next week?
Oh, you know, as I said earlier, they have been in the first 2 games.
Time by
Dodson.
Brady Dodson.
You know,
Jokenauer, the tackler, number 4 for Wilson Memorial. Offense is staying out on the field for just a second, and now the punting unit comes out.
Right. You know, he's a sophomore and has good size, tough runner. You know, he's getting some valuable experience. He can stay healthy. He's going to be a load, trying to replace the graduated runner by the name of Slater, I believe. That was pretty good. Wow, what a good kick.
Nice kick that time. Wilson had nobody back, so the ball's allowed to roll dead. It rolls dead inside the 5, just inside the 5, where Wilson will take over 1st and 10 with 5:09 remaining here in tonight's ball game, which is the SVS game of the week. Talked about where Spotswood will be next week, Coach. They're going to take on Central Woodstock right here in Penn Laird. Next week, Wilson Memorial continues their 4-game road stand at Luray. So not only has this team been dominating score-wise and been beating some good football teams, they're doing it all on the road. That's got to be impressive.
Right. They hadn't worn their dark jerseys yet, Jay.
And the white ones don't look dirty either. That's not a good sign. Savant Swift, that time the ball carrier, he just surges, got behind his lineman and just rode their backs out to the 18-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. I believe that's Swift again, number 34. He's out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. A gain of almost 8, so it'll be 2nd and 2.
Spotswood.
See the Jenkins Insurance replay on that play.
Right.
Like you said, Coach, we've seen at least 15, 20 times tonight.
Spotswood looks at their wristbands to call a play, and Coach Major yells on the field, "Run it again."
That's exactly right. You got that right. He's been able to do it tonight. And again, and again. Savant Swift again, left to right running off that tackle spot. Gets in behind that line. That time Spotswood stopped him for a gain of just 1, so that'll leave us 3rd and 1 at the 27-yard line of Wilson.
Wilson still has their starting unit in there and on the line. Now they've subbed over here to left wing back for Swift.
It looked like some confusion there in the backfield. Cullen ended up having to keep the ball. I don't know.
Right. Well, I believe
what happened there, but obviously something crossed up.
I believe that ball carrier that time was number 20, right? But maybe not. It may, either 20 or 28.
Kane Hinton maybe that time. We've got another Trailblazer down on the field, so we'll take a timeout here. So will we. We'll
Yep, that's who it is.
We are back at Spotswood High School. 2:53 remaining here in our SVS Game of the Week. Number 78, as you see, being helped off the field is Andrew Kaufman, a senior defensive tackle. Big boy, 6'4", 300+ pounds. He's been making some plays for these Spotswood Trailblazers here, Coach.
Right, he's their left offensive tackle and also plays defense as a substitute.
I'm a little surprised here. 4th and 1, Wilson's going to go for it.
I don't think
he got it.
Nope.
The way they're running into market, he didn't pick up but a yard.
Yeah, number 28 was the carry. Here you can see a real good view of it. And I can't see the number. I'll see when he gets up. Number 72, Submarine to play. And when he did, he stacked up the interference, the blockers, and that's a super job by number 72 for Spotswood. That's Bennington.
Ben Bennington.
Right.
The player you're talking about, Coach, and that's what he did exactly. He got under everybody and caused a pile up in the backfield.
Yeah.
There was simply no place to run. So Spotswood takes over 1st and 10 at the Wilson 27-yard line. 2:38 to play here in the 4th quarter of this non-conference football game. Spotswood from 3A Conference 29 and Wilson from 2A Conference 36 meeting here on the gridiron tonight. Handoff that time right up the middle, gain of about 1 yard, 2nd and 9 for the Trailblazers.
Just a word to our viewers, if you go on online, go to VHSL.com and you can pull up the list of the conferences around the state, and it's pretty interesting. You can see who's in what conference, and there's East and a West. The state's divided into East and West, and then there's conferences in the East and the West, and of course it's determined by the enrollment of the school. So if you want to know why Wilson Memorial's in a certain conference or why Spotswood, or it is pretty interesting. And you also can go on there and get the records of all the teams throughout the state.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Got a little legal procedure.
Time, you got a legal procedure. 2 guys moving at the same time, I believe, is what they're going to call here, Coach.
Yeah. The outside man on the offensive line moved along with the man in motion, who was Withers. Withers is in there for Davis.
14, Coach. I'm sorry to talk over you.
No,
14 now for them. Polglaze checks his wristband, as do the rest of the Trailblazers. He leads them up under center, eye back.
Because that's the 3rd time they've run that pass, twice to the left and once to the right, and every time it's been open.
Faked the toss that time and handed the ball off straight up the middle.
Dodson
on the carry. He's down to about the 6.5, we'll call it, about the 7-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 7.
Notice 78's back in there, Jay.
He is. That's a good sign for Spotswood and their outcome next week with Central. Spotswood sniffing end zone here, it looks like, Coach.
Well, you got to admire them.
Ball handed off to Dodson again. He runs it off the right tackle, right guard. Timeout, Spotswood. 1:04 remaining. We got a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout in the booth. Wilson Memorial leading 27-0.
That's sort of like
There's something to be said about honesty and loyalty, about commitment and trust. Yes, these are some of the traits that make a really great friend. And at United, we think they're also the traits that make a really great bank. It's how we've done business since 1839. Knowing names, knowing faces, knowing dreams. So while you're out there at work, at play, and at life, always know we're at your service. United Bank.
We are back in Penn Laird at Spotswood High School on another absolutely gorgeous night for high school football. Unfortunately for the Spotswood Trailblazer fans, this game hasn't been everything they wanted it to be when it started. Visiting Wilson Memorial leading 27-0 here at Spotswood. The Trailblazers, however, threatening to score and threatening to come out of here with something positive. This time they run that play we've been seeing all night from Wilson Memorial, and no touchdown, so it'll be 4th and goal wherever they mark this, and they're marking it about the 2-yard line.
They called 2 plays during the timeout. You can believe they want to get a score, and I don't believe
they're
they got
not going to. He didn't get in. They stopped him at the 1-yard line. A goal line stand for Wilson Memorial. Here you see it on the Jenkins Insurance replay.
That was the toss sweep to Dodson.
Balzerman leading the charge for Wilson.
Balzerman, the lead tackler there for Wilson Memorial, and now as you see some of the fans starting to make their way toward the exits.
There's Coach Withers.
Coach Withers you see sitting there right in just to the top side, right side of your screen there watching his son play.
I would imagine this is the first chance he's had. You know, they played
Man
away.
Needs a little time off, Coach.
Yeah, they had played away from home last week, so this is the first chance he's had to see his son play. So that's always good.
Snap directly to the quarterback. Cullen just runs straight up the middle, and he drags tacklers out to about the 8-yard line. Starting at the 1, and that'll be the last play of the game. Wilson Memorial is going to walk out of here with a 27-0 win over Spotswood. So that 76-7 advantage that they've outscored people in now, Coach, is going to be 103-7 when they go to Luray next weekend. What were you impressed about most about the Wilson Memorial team here tonight?
Well, honestly, Jay, both sides of the ball, their kicking game was solid. They've got game breakers at the wing backs, a quarterback that if need to can run the ball. They showed they can pass the ball to number 88, and their defense really runs hard to the ball.
Scores in the second half for Wilson Memorial. 6:24 of the third quarter. Savant Swift, 11-yard TD run. McBee made the kick to make it 21-0. And at 9:10 in the fourth quarter, Matt Cullen threw a TD pass to McDaniel. The kick failed, but it was still 27-0. Those highlights and TD scores brought to you by University Outpost for all of your JMU needs. Defensive plays. Who do you want to say the defensive player of the game, Coach? We'll give him credit, and then we'll credit our sponsor.
Jay, I might get your help on that. I know number 54 for Wilson, played a strong game. Uh,
How about Andrew Kaufman?
and that, and then Weston kid at safety. I think it's difficult to pick somebody because I thought for Wilson, I think their entire defense was solid. I'm going to defer to you.
All right, I think we'll go with Weston, the defensive back, and Andrew Kaufman from Spotswood. They both made big plays tonight defensively. And the defensive player of the game recognized thanks to Rockingham Memorial Hospital. Quality care, RMH is by your side. And finally, as you say, our plays of the game here, Coach, we talked about some of them at halftime. Just solid hitting defense all night long for Wilson Memorial. But the play of the game, I think the one that broke it was the touchdown late in the half by Cullen, who drug a tackler into the end zone with him as time was close to expiring, gave him that 2-touchdown advantage, and that put him on the way to this 27-0 win. So for Jack Hale, Coach Jack Hale, I am Jay Crawford. For Bridget Condon, we say goodnight from Spotswood High School in Penn-Laird, Virginia, where the Trailblazers have fallen to the Wilson Memorial Hornets 27-0.